Welcome, everyone, to How Did I Get Here? Accounting Minds Want to Know. My name is Tiana Ross, and I'm here to tell you a little bit about my journey and how I got into accounting education and became a CPA. Hopefully, you will be able to learn something from my experience and maybe even learn something about whether or not you're interested in taking a similar journey down the accounting path of possibilities. I am a CPA, among many other things, but I'm also an IT director at Stryker Corporation in Kalamazoo, Michigan. And outside of work, I am a career and empowerment coach as well. So hopefully you'll get something valuable out of this presentation. Now, the first question I have for you is, what is accounting? A lot of times people assume certain things about accounting, that is that you have to be good at math, that it's just people focusing on money and nothing else. But what is accounting really? Now, me in high school, I didn't know anything about accounting. I didn't have any examples. When I graduated in high school, you can see me many years ago on this slide. I had no idea that accounting was a profession, that there was a certification path for it, and I didn't have any examples. So, in fact, I think if someone would have asked me at 18 years old, do you want to major in accounting? I probably would not have wanted to do that, because you see, I didn't have any examples. I'm from Benton Harbor, Michigan, a small town near the lake in Michigan. And where I'm from, we just didn't have very many people in the city in this particular profession. I didn't know anyone in my family. I didn't have any friends with parents who were CPAs. So I just didn't have context. And unfortunately for me, I only knew about accounting what I saw in the media. Now, according to the comics, accounting is, if you take a look at this comic, I told you he won't play or have fun because he thinks he's an accountant. That doesn't sound like very much fun at all, and definitely not something I would have been interested in. And then, this one, geesh, accountants making the rest of us look cool. Come on. Like, that's not selling this profession for what it really is. And it's not doing any justice. It's all stereotypes. And I am very happy that I didn't pay attention to these stereotypes, because what I ended up finding is that accounting has given me more options, more income, more success, more opportunities, more possibilities, friends, acquaintances than I could have ever imagined all that time ago when I was 18. Now, I did have enough information coming out of high school and going to college to know I wanted to major in business. That's about as much detail as I had. And, I knew that money was a big part of business. So I ended up going to Western Michigan University and majoring in financial planning, because I said, well, financial planning, money, business, great, this is gonna work out. And I knew it would be a good way to learn about money and what it takes to be successful. But I wasn't introduced to accounting still. I still didn't really understand what accounting had to offer. I minored in accounting because someone said, hey, if you're going to major in finance, you may as well minor in accounting. So I went ahead to do that, and I took that suggestion, but I wasn't sold on it by any means. My first internship in college really gave me the information I needed to make a real decision and really understand. I had a student assistant job at a state hospital, and I started in the accounting department building a database for the accounting department, which kind of leads me to what I'm doing today as an IT director. But what I was introduced to by working in that department was a manager who understood that I had potential, and she was an accountant, and I really developed a relationship and respected her. And she took me with her to her society meetings and introducing me to her other accounting colleagues, and that really made all the difference in the world. And she convinced me. She said, accounting is going to give you opportunities. You should consider double majoring. If you're going to keep your major, that's fine, but consider making your minor your major. And I did. I chose it as a second major. It extended my time in college, but it was one of the best decisions that I made in college. Accounting actually is more like this. What I found is by getting into the accounting as a major and getting engaged in groups on campus and really kind of committing myself to learning about what it had to offer, accounting is really about leadership. It's really about business. It's really about listening. It's really about managing cash and creating solutions that are going to make a business successful. And it's really a worthwhile career to consider and a skill set that I still use, even though I don't work directly in accounting today. Now, let's go back to our first question. We asked at the top of this presentation, what is accounting? It's the language of business. It's a way that we record financial transactions for a business. And if you think about it, anybody you know who isn't managing how much money they make and how much money they spend is probably in a jam. And the same thing is true for businesses. It's just on a broader scale. And then really, it's not just recording the transactions. It's really saying, what did we do? How did we do? What do we need to focus on? Where are we going next? It's really telling a story. It's really a key function for any organization and any business in the world. Now, if you look at this logo graphic that I have on my presentation here, a lot of different companies, all in different genres, all with different product lines. And one thing they have in common is that accountants are the ones they rely on to drive and measure success. That's what accounting is, and that's what accountants do. So, like me, I have a varied and very wide and interesting path as a CPA, but really the term "start here, go places" is a true statement for accounting and for people who consider it as a career. A lot of CEOs are accountants. A lot of entrepreneurs are accountants. They need accountants to trace transactions in FBI operations, all kinds of places that you can use an accounting education and background. It really is the path to a successful career. Here's a really good point. CEOs with a strong financial background add a lot of value to companies, and they understand the company's financial drivers. Even the CEO of my current company that I work for has an accounting background. It's so valuable because it helps you to quickly understand what's going on with the company. Now, I want to talk about what accounting has provided for me personally. Majoring in accounting has allowed me to become a CPA. And this is a really important distinction. This certification, Certified Public Accountant, has opened a lot of doors and provides the baseline for accounting professionals in the United States. There is no argument that it is such a valuable credential to have as someone who is a professional accountant. The other thing that accounting has allowed me to do is work across many functions. I've had the opportunity and privilege to work in accounting as an auditor, as an advisor to small companies. I've had the opportunity to work in HR as well as IT and working across with people all over the world. The accounting background that I have helps me because in every single situation, project, or initiative, we always measure our success by what we're spending and what our return on investment is. Being able and being fluent in that has really allowed me to build a unique career opportunity for myself. The third thing, becoming a trusted advisor, is the most important to me personally. When you have put in the effort to become a professional, to really get in deep into your knowledge and really apply the ethical standards and the professional standards that come along with the CPA credential to your life, people trust you. People trust your opinion because they know that you know what you're talking about. That is a really important part of becoming an accountant and really majoring in accounting. And the other thing that I will tell you is, again, leading global projects, working with stakeholders all over the world, it's been a fantastic experience. And even I have my own business, as I mentioned before, as a career and empowerment coach. All of that happened because I understand accounting. And hopefully some of you will eventually decide to understand it as well. Now, I've worked with these companies using my accounting skill set and adding to it. I never ever depart from it. I only add different information sets to accounting. I've been able to work also for myself, and I've gone so many places around the United States as a result of just traveling for work. That opens up your perspective so much. You have an opportunity to go across the country, learn what your colleagues are interested in and what they're doing, as in addition to just doing the job that pays you and the job that you enjoy. It's been really fantastic. And not just in the United States. I've had an opportunity to be a guest auditor in Germany. I've had an opportunity to meet with stakeholders in France and in Ireland. I've been able to go to the UK, Amsterdam, Switzerland. It's been really a fantastic experience. And really, accounting opens doors that you probably couldn't even imagine at the start of a journey like this. Now, here's a little fun one, a little fun fact, and this is my only, the nearest I'm going to get to fame here. So you've got Oprah Winfrey, you've got Will Smith, you've got Nelson Mandela. And the connection between these three is that I was on a trip, a business trip in the UK, and a group of auditors going out looking for dinner, and we walked past a park. It was Hyde Park in London, and we see a giant screen in the park, and it looks like it's Oprah Winfrey. So of course we stop and go, is that Oprah? And then we look again, we see flashes of Will Smith in the audience. And it was a public event for Nelson Mandela's 90th birthday party. And it was, of course, we abandoned dinner to go and attend that event and see for ourselves a historical moment. And I just would not have been there at that moment in time if I wasn't on the audit that I was on in that particular engagement. So it's just been a really rewarding experience. Now, enough about me. Let's talk about accounting and you. You should consider accounting, because accounting, again, year after year, it ranks among the top, #1, and if not #1, really close to it, in job offers for graduating students. It's because it's an in-demand career. We talked about how many companies, businesses, organizations need accountants. All of them. Entry-level accountants earn a really great starting salary. I graduated from my master's degree in the economic downturn, the mortgage crisis of 2007, 2008. And even then, I had one of the highest starting salaries of all of my friends in other majors, and that was during a downturn. We have interesting, unprecedented times coming that we're weathering through in 2020. But one thing I can tell you is that accountants are still in demand. Accounting is a highly respected profession. You're not gonna find someone who says, I don't respect CPAs. It's just not gonna happen. Now, that may not be true for every profession. There are some where, they may not have as great of a reputation as we have, but it's a respected profession. It is a worthwhile job and career to have. And, when you look at what's important for accountants, all of these things are really important things. And you'll notice on my screen, when you look, you don't see math. Math is not a requirement. Adding and subtracting, sure. But what's more important is to be able to be an honest person with integrity, to be someone who can develop leadership skills, to pay attention to the important details, that you have professional skills and experience, that you can think analytically and critically, and be able to communicate. Those are the attributes that really will make you stand out and above the competition. And none of them really have to do with the numbers. They have to do with how you deliver service to the people who trust you. Now, last year in 2019, employers were competing. And I'm willing to bet in 2020, the employers are still competing. Some of our surveys haven't come out yet, but higher salaries, recruiting incentives, sometimes being sign-on bonuses, moving costs being covered by the company that you're gonna work for and the firm that you're gonna work for. You may get an offer and somebody else may offer you more. That is not a bad situation to be in. It's as close as we're gonna get to being a top NBA player. Just kidding. But really, companies are taking it seriously and they're not playing around. Now, I mentioned before about the CPA and why it was important to me to get that credential, but let's talk about what a CPA is. Again, it's a certified public accountant, and this designation is licensed by a state authority. In Michigan, the Michigan State Board of Accountancy authorizes the CPA designation. And this means that you are able to practice public accounting. Now, again, I talked about all the reasons: prestige, job satisfaction and variety, which I've enjoyed; security, because hey, every organization has to have one of us; personal growth, you will challenge yourself, you will learn new skills; and let's just face it, the money's pretty great. Now, you have to have educational requirements. You have to get a degree in accounting, you have to have enough credits, and then you have to take an exam. But guess what? This exam is not something you can't do. I did it. You can do it too. And then you get a job, work, you're paid, and that experience gets you the credential. And you see how this guy's happy running the meadow? That was me the day I passed my exam. So again, key skills: leadership, communication, technical know-how, being business savvy. These things are the things that are going to be important. And I can't tell you whether or not accounting is right for you. I can't. I can suggest that you highly consider it. I strongly suggest that you consider this profession. But the only way for you to really find out if it's right for you is to do your own research. Go online. Use your social media accounts to go find out information about this. Decide what you really want for a career for yourself. What do you want out of what you do for a living? What do you want to achieve for yourself? The other thing to do is get involved. In college, there are usually accounting fraternities and societies that you can join when you get there. But even in high school, find a CPA and shadow them. Find out how you can maybe volunteer for a treasurer role at a school organization. And the last thing is, if you can get an internship, you're going to want to do that. It's the best way to find out for sure.